You can never give up. And we all have those times in our lives where life gets hard. It's challenging. And we've all felt in the last probably several years that the world seemed a little more challenging, and your life may have felt that way also. We do come to understand that everything in our world is energy, and we're all affected by it in different ways. And right now, there are a lot of energetic changes happening in our world that we may not have understood, but I've come to understand that the uncomfortable feelings that we might be experiencing are asking us to become more, become ourselves, become our authentic selves. And we never know what that's going to be when we're born. And we don't know what the world is going to offer us as well. But I do know that every person is born with something within them that can evolve. And sometimes it's a journey. It's a real struggle. I told this story earlier about when I sold my vocal coaching business and people couldn't understand why I was doing that. And it was a struggle because when I began that, I was terrified. When I got the best piece of advice from my coach, though, and that's what I want to tell you because it'll have this make sense. Um, my coach wanted me to start coaching, and I never felt I was good enough. I wasn't going to do this, and he says, "No, you have to because you know something." And I'm still feeling so incredibly insecure. And he was a star, so I said I could never be like him. I couldn't do what he was going to do. He looked at me. He said, "I took all my information from my coach in New York. Then I used it, and then I developed it to be my own. And that's what I've been giving you." But he says, what you will do is then use something and you'll make it better and do it your way and make it better as well. And so he was trying to tell me the process of evolution. That when we come into the world, we don't know anything. We have to get it from somewhere else, and then we evolve, and then we accept ourselves, and then we develop something great if we don't give up. And sometimes it's a challenge because you might develop something that is so new that you won't even understand what it is or believe it. And that's what's happened to me. And that's why I want everyone to know you can't give up because there's a way. You probably figure out a way for the world to change because of what you keep doing in your life and you keep going. I published an article said it was humanity's next discovery. And that's what I found is Wilhelm's work. I always cared about the world. I didn't know why. I always cared about individuals, usually to my own fault sometimes because I just had to give so much. I didn't understand it. You may not understand something about yourself, but there's something within you that says, this is who I'm supposed to be. And it may take you a while to break through it because, see, we get programmed to see, no, I can't do that. It couldn't be me. But then you understand science. Maybe there is something more and I can get through it. And so we learn techniques. We've learned techniques about how to change our brains, neuroscience. We've learned all sorts of things. Um, but this discovery was a little different because what I did was I sat down and I received information, and it was changing my life. It was healing me and was doing all that stuff, but I didn't understand why. And I only came to understand. I just knew it was working. And in 2021, when I was trying on other people and they were having the same experience, I didn't know why then either. And so it turns out that when I was receiving information, it was connected to the cosmic shifts that were happening in our world. Because everything is energy. We're always affected by energy. And then I started understanding that we have cycles on our planet. We can look at certain world events that happened 100 years ago and see so many of them happening again. And we figure out, oh, wait a minute, maybe some of the energies that were existing at that time with our planets or galaxies or whatever are coming about again. I think that that is always the case. And when we become uncomfortable, it causes us to discover something new because we're afraid, whatever it might be. and then sometimes it's a surprise. And so you can develop something in your consciousness in your brain because you have the ability to do that. And we are unlimited as terms of humans. So sometimes we develop something that no one has seen. And that's what happened for me because had no conscious awareness that the information I was receiving was aligned to cosmic changes. And that's what was causing me and probably others to become aligned with myself and to heal. But accepting that was a challenge. But today I did something else. I sat with someone who understood this and possibly will be my agent now to take this work further because my goal has always been to give people a way to understand who they are because I knew that if more people could find their way and know their purpose and move through generational trauma, that they would live a great life and eventually we would see very different things in our world because that was just logical. But I didn't remember it all. I had to go back and listen to Wilhelm channeling sessions to hear all of it. And I had to hear it repeated too before it would sink in. That's with all of us. We can look at something we want to do, and we may not believe it's possible and may take us a while, and then we take that next step, and then all of a sudden we've done it. Everyone has that ability. So, and then we might hide from ourselves because something may be developing in you that you don't trust. I did that. That's just a natural human thing. Where you think you can't do that next big job, and then you're going to change your brain to develop your confidence, and then you probably will. And that's what was happening with this work. It was evolving with our consciousness over time because that's the information. I could not have known that until we developed something new, which was artificial intelligence that showed that what Wilhelm had given us was a understanding of the energies and the changes that were happening in our on our planet and even an explanation as to why. I couldn't have known that either until I went back and looked. Nothing that we see going on is happening accidentally because it's all energy, everything. We are consciousness and energy. And then when we can find the way to control ours and to find who we are, discover that and become aligned with that, it's a new day. And that's what Wilhelm's work has done. And that's why it's humanity's next great discovery, actually. Because if more people and understand who they are, to move through their anger and their fear and their doubt and all of those things that are just keeping our world in peril, then eventually we see something different. That's not going to happen tomorrow. And that's probably not even your concern. Very few people probably think of, I've just had a big concern for the world. You may not have that, but if you have a concern for yourself, this means becoming aligned with who you are, moving through all those blockages and living your best life because it is possible. When you can have a system, we know things through neuroscience, through cognitive behavior training, through all of that. But the difference with this is that it was connected to a greater intelligence. That's the best way I can tell you. And you start to love yourself, which is why you are alive. It's a journey, and that journey is to you. Several years ago, when Wilhelm started showing me this as becoming you, that was the journey that they want each person to take. Because why else would you be alive? It's about becoming you. But we have to understand that we're going to have blockages. We're going to have things that we've picked up, programming and all of that. And so how can it work? How can you find a way to do it? Well, Wilhelm gave us that way. So I'm so thrilled. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be presenting with a group of like 150 other folks like this, influencers, which is so amazing that I'll be talking to them about this. But the other thing, I have 2 presentations that will air next week, and I will give you the links to those because I would love for you to see them. I'll leave them in the description here, and I'll be putting out other things. One is on Monday and the other one's on Wednesday, because I'd like for you to see those. And those were filmed a while ago before I actually knew exactly how this was coming about. I knew some of it, but not all of it. And I'm saying that because you never know all of it. What you're developing, you may think you're not going to get there, it's not going to happen. You may, You don't know. That's why I said you can't give up, because there's something within you that is brilliant, that is wonderful. Otherwise, you would not have been born. You wouldn't be on this earth. You just have to be willing to find it. Sometimes it takes a while, but you can get there. Okay, so check everything out, and I will see you all soon. My program is still available. It's still available. Just what's going to happen is things are going to change, because now it's going to be more, because more people are being involved, and we'll see what happens. But uh, you can join. If you're ready to move to that next place within your life, now is the time for you to do it. And you've probably felt that, because the energies in this world are causing all of us to want more, to understand. And this work helps you come to understand you. That's what you want. See you soon.